Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. My name is Mia, and for today's video I am doing if you guys can see my shirt, I am doing freshman advice / things you need to know about West Georgia. And actually, you guys can take this as a freshman's advice if you're even going to another school, but it's going to be mostly about West Georgia because that's where I graduated from. So I'm gonna jump right in. Let's see. The first thing I want to talk about is dorms, which is like the most important part in college because that's where you're sleeping at, bathing at, everything. So when you're a freshman, the two top dorms are the Oaks and Centerpoint. I stayed in Centerpoint, which is further from everything, but they are both the same. Like, they're designed the same, everything's the same. But the Oaks is newer, a newer dorm, so a lot of people chose the Oaks, and those go by like fast. Like, I wanted to stay in Oaks, but I ended up staying in Centerpoint because the Oaks was full. And yeah, but Centerpoint is still nice, you guys. That's the lit side, that's the turnout. Everybody want to be in Centerpoint, okay? So Centerpoint and Oaks are like the two top dorms I would recommend. Yeah, I don't really recommend the older dorms. Those are like the two top dorms. Another thing is the Oaks. I will say the Oaks is like a good choice because it's, you know, near everything. It's like right across from, you know, the cafeteria or the little food where you get your food from. So yeah, I definitely recommend East Commons because staying at Centerpoint, that walk to East Commons was a walk, okay? But yeah, and it's closer to your class too, so a lot of people choose the Oaks, which is a good choice. Another thing I want to talk about is the cafeterias. So there's two. There is East Commons and Z6. A lot of people prefer Z6. I personally didn't care for Z6. I mean, their breakfast food is really good, but that's really the only thing. They have fried chicken Wednesdays, so on Wednesdays, you know, everybody would be at Z6 getting their, you know, fried chicken. But I really never, you know, cared for that, as you can see. Like, I just never cared for it. So yeah, and with East Commons I like East Commons because there was more selections, more food there to me. I did the hibachi about every day because I was tired of everything else. Like, you got pizza, burgers sometimes, but they do switch it up. Like, certain days are like they serve certain, you know, special food, but I definitely prefer East Commons. That's where I mostly went majority of the time. I didn't really go to Z6 unless it was for breakfast. And yeah, let me think. So one thing about East Commons is you will get, let me just say this, I gained the freshman 15. Like, well, I gained weight before I started, you know, freshman year, but yeah, you will gain weight. I gained a freshman 15. My friend gained freshman 15 because we were mostly at East Commons eating. You will eat, you know, they have a lot of selections. Workout. I will say workout. And with they have different meal plans. I don't remember them. You have unlimited. I know they have unlimited where you can go like swipe your card whenever, but there's one where you can swipe like a number amount, but I really don't remember the meal plans. They probably switched it up since I graduated. So yeah. Another thing is, speaking of working out, is the gym. The gym, West Georgia gym, is like amazing, you guys. Like, they built so much onto it. And like, when I was leaving, they added so much stuff to it, like new machines. It's amazing. Like, I loved it. Like, yeah, I loved it. And like, they have 2 basketball courts. Well, they have like the main basketball court in the front, and then there's one in the back as well. They kind of, I don't know how they do it with that, with the back basketball court, because sometimes people will be back there and sometimes they won't be back there, so I don't know how that worked. And then they have like I said, in the back is a back court, and then they have like other workout stuff you can do back there, so it's like a really big gym, you guys. And they have rock climbing, they have games, you can play video games downstairs. Like, it's nice. And I've never been to another campus gym, so I really can't really compare it to anything, because I actually toured West Georgia one time and I was like, this is a school, and I just stick with it and went there, because when I got there I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I love it. This is the school for me. So I've never toured anything else, so I can't compare it to another school, but I will say the gym is very nice. And if you're a freshman, be prepared to gain some freshman 15 if all you do is eat and not work out, because that's exactly how I gained my freshman 15. But during the second semester of freshman year, I did lose the weight. I was in the gym every day because I blew up. So yeah, I would recommend working out if you're going to be eating a lot. So another thing I want to talk about is, let's talk about classes. So y'all, well, before I started my freshman year, I remember getting my hair done, and one of the girls, I think she graduated from Kennesaw or Georgia State, and she was telling me, like, give me some advice, and she was like, rate my professor. Like, those will save your grades, because it really depends on the professor you have. Like, I always looked at that when I'm registering for my classes, because I didn't know how the professor is. And like, students will tell you how that professor is. And like, I remember my senior year, I was just want to get done with this class, and like, my professor said it was a horrible professor, he shouldn't be there, blah blah blah. And I was like, no, whatever, I can probably do it. No, that was probably the hardest class I've ever taken. And I don't think he works anymore. He could not teach. Like, the whole class had to take it that semester, or the fall semester. I took it that summer semester. I retook it that summer semester, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people took it that fall semester, because a lot of students were in it the summer. So yeah, I should definitely listen to that, because it was just awful. I know he was a bad professor because my line sister took the same class. My line sister took the same class with a different professor, and I got an A in it. And I failed the class, so I had to retake it. Another thing is, when it comes to classes, I recommend just taking your core classes, because you might not major into that class. I took classes that I didn't even major in. Like, my first major was criminal justice, and I was taking criminal justice class my freshman year because my advisor recommended it. And so I ended up changing my major to business marketing, and I have classes I didn't even need. So I definitely recommend just taking your core classes, such as your math, language arts, science, social studies. Like, take that, just focus on that your freshman year, and then like, when you know you want to be in this major for sure, then start taking your major classes. Because like I said, I definitely wasted some money on classes that I didn't even major, like, wasn't even my major. So, and even your advisors say, take these classes. No, just take your core classes your freshman year. I definitely recommend that. Just take your core classes, and yeah, you should be fine. And another thing I want to talk about is the library. Speaking of classes, so at West Georgia, they have a Starbucks. It's on the, I guess, depending on the way you walk in, it's in the back. It's usually very crowded. People go there before their classes. A lot of people go there before their classes. And yeah, it connects to the library, and the first level is the noisiest level, so be prepared for it to be loud. But they do have computers. That's mostly like the social area. A lot of people like meet up with their friends there. And yeah, the second level is like you can talk, but it's also quieter than the first level. And then the third level, I can't remember if it was 3 or 4 levels, but I know the third level is like no talking at all. I think the fourth level is like nothing, like quiet. But the thing about that is you can rent rooms on those second and third level, I believe. I can't really remember how many levels it was, but you can rent rooms for, like, you know, a group of friends, your study group, not for your friends, but like your study group and people in your classes you want to study with. You can rent rooms for like an hour, I think. Yeah, so I definitely recommend that. I definitely recommend making friends in your classes, because especially your hard classes, because yeah, I definitely, for accounting 1 and 2, I made friends, especially with the people that I was getting A's and B's on their tests, because those were hard classes for me. Like, I remember like studying every day. I would meet up with people and study with them for our tests, and it paid off a lot. Like, it made a difference. Like, I got a B in accounting 1. Accounting 2, I was doing stuff that semester, so I got a C in it. But those are hard classes. Like, anyone who takes accounting 1 and 2 know those classes are hard, and you need a group for that. So yeah, I definitely recommend making friends in your class so they can, you know, help you out. Let's see, another thing I want to talk about is definitely for freshmen, you have the welcome back blast. I believe they're still doing that. I don't know, because COVID, but they usually do that before classes start for freshmen. That's just like, you know, welcome to West Georgia, like a party, food, music, dancing. Like, those were fun. I could meet new people as well. So games, I have games out there, so I definitely recommend you going to that. They usually send it out and like post it everywhere for you guys to see it and come. Another thing I want to talk about is, let's see, let me look at my phone, because I had to like write stuff down because I know I will forget. 8 a.m. classes. Yeah, let's talk about 8 a.m. classes. So I definitely don't recommend signing up for 8 a.m. classes. Like, definitely not. I wasn't a morning person, so I definitely didn't sign up for 8 a.m. classes unless I had to take my science. Like, that's the only class that was available for 8 a.m. and it was a Friday class as well. So yeah, if you didn't take your science credit class in high school, then you definitely have to take it in college, and those are Friday classes. And one thing about, you know, college is Thursdays are the Fridays. Your Thursdays are your Fridays. Thursdays, you go out, that's when you have fun. That's beginning of the weekend. So, because a lot of people don't have Friday class, but like I said, freshmen, you will have 1 Friday class. I had it. It wasn't too bad, but I was happy when I didn't have it anymore. So yeah, definitely have the Friday classes, and I definitely don't recommend 8 a.m. classes unless you're just a morning person. But I was not, so getting up at 8 a.m. was just not my thing. And not my thing at all. And another thing I want to talk about is, like I mentioned before, I'm just not paying attention. Another thing I want to talk about is freshman parking. Freshmen can bring their cars their first semester, but they have to park at the stadium. I hated that. Like, I hated it. Well, Monday through Fridays you have to park at the stadium, and on weekends you can park, really Saturday you can park, you know, closer to your dorm. But it was just one day, honestly, because Sunday you have to move it back to the stadium. Or was it Friday? Either Friday or Saturday you can park. I know it was Saturday. I don't know if it was Friday and Saturday or just Saturday, but you can definitely park by your dorm on the weekends. But Sunday you had to move it back. And with that, I hated it because we had to wait for the buses. So you have to wait for the bus to come pick you up, take you to your car, wait for the bus to pick you up and drop you back off to your dorm. And I hated it because sometimes, I remember one time, me and my friend, we waited an hour for the bus lady. And I remember my friend was so mad. And she was like, when I see her, I'm gonna cuss her out because why are you taking so long? And y'all, we got on that bus and my friend didn't say one word. She just sat on the bus and it was quiet. And another reason why I didn't like it is because I remember we were waiting on the bus, and you know that, y'all know that SpongeBob episode when like he wanted to get on the bus but the bus kept driving past him? That's literally what happened to us. Like, I remember us waiting for the bus and it was taking forever to go because it's supposed to be back in the car. The bus will go by. I was like, oh my gosh. And that happened like 3 times. Like that same night, 3 times the bus drove by. So that was awful. But yeah, I guess those are the things that come with freshmen. At least you guys could bring your cars. I know some colleges, you know, freshmen can't bring their cars. So that's a good thing. I made good grades my first semester, so my mom allowed me to bring my car my second semester, which was amazing because we got to drive around, get around, you know, go to the store. Oh, and another thing is they do have buses that take you to the store, but with that, you have to be on time when the bus comes back or the bus will leave you. But they'll, you know, keep doing it and going around. But yeah. And then if you don't have a car, make friends. I know it sounds bad, but make friends with someone who does have a car because that will help out a lot as well. Let's see what else. Another thing is, don't be afraid to, another thing is UCC. I was about to forget this. Another thing is UCC. And that is where Chick-fil-A is. And it used to be Subway, but they named it another deli place. And then it used to be some other places like pizza, sushi, but I think they changed that to just American. I'm not American Deli. Oh, I want some American Deli. But they just changed it to Chick-fil-A at the bottom. Well, that's what I heard they was gonna do. I don't know if they did that, but yeah. You got Chick-fil-A in there. It's 3 levels. So let me back up. So there's 3 levels in the UCC. So downstairs is like you can sit and talk, Chick-fil-A, and the other places they have, or unless it's just Chick-fil-A. Then the second level is like freshmen. That's where you get your mail. That's the mail room. Your Amazon packages. It goes there. And then tutoring. My advisor was in that on the second level. And then the third level is like the deli section, computers, and like sit and chill areas as well. But yeah, that's the UCC. I was in there a lot. Another thing I want to talk about is like, y'all, college is what you make it. I always tell people that college is what you make it. Like if you go home, I know people who went home every weekend. Like, how do you enjoy college experience when you go home every weekend? And that's usually like, you know, the fun time. Weekends is usually the fun time. And people will go home. I'm just like, what's the point of you being away from home if all you do is go home on the weekends? Like, I never understood that. So college is what you make it. Like, don't go home every weekend. I wouldn't recommend going home once a month on the weekend, if that, because I did that, but I didn't go home every weekend. So yeah, enjoy it. Like, I just want to say congratulations to you guys. You know, college is, you know, like I said, what you make it. Just don't forget why you're there. Like, a lot of people forget why they're there. You're there to get an education, but you know, can also have fun. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with having fun. You know, it's what you make it. Like tutoring, study groups, like being on top of your work, those will get you to graduate. Like, that's what helped me graduate. Staying on top of my work, doing my work, study groups. You know, break my professor as well, but I graduated, so I definitely recommend those things. One last thing I want to talk about is homecoming. Like I said, another thing before I end this video is I remember going in my freshman year, people were like, what should I do to party school? All I gonna do is party? No. After my first semester freshman year, it was not party school anymore. Like, cops would shut any and every black event down, you guys. Literally. They don't go to the, you know, the Caucasians and shut their stuff down, but they will come to the black parties and shut it down. So definitely not a party school anymore. Be prepared for 12 to shut everything down. Yeah, that was annoying. That was so annoying. And then homecoming is definitely fun. That was fun. It's not like an HBCU. It was not like an HBCU homecoming. Like I said, 12 shut everything down. But the actual homecoming game and then like tailgate, that's fun. The tailgates are so fun. So I definitely recommend you guys trying out the tailgates, getting to know people, joining organizations if you can. You know, that's how you meet friends. I wish I met more people my freshman year. I was kind of stuck with, you know, my other friend because we went to the same, you know, middle and high school. So she was like my friend. I always had a friend and I never like branched out to make other friends until really after I crossed. That's when I made like, well, I would say as soon as I started joining other organizations, I made friends. So yeah, definitely join organizations. If you can get a campus job, you know, I know a lot of people, you know, have to work while they're in school. So I definitely recommend getting a campus job because they work with your schedule. And yeah, just remember why you're there, honestly. Like, I know people I went into, you know, the freshman class with did not either graduate or, well, they didn't graduate, or yeah, they just didn't graduate because some people will lose focus and just think it's about partying and girls and boys, and it's not that. Like, you're there for a reason, so just, you know, enjoy it as well. Like, do your work and enjoy it. Like, those are the advice I would give my freshman self, I guess you can say. Like, be on top of your stuff. Always look at your syllabus the first day because that lines up how your classes will be. Another thing is, like, I know I keep saying like, oh, I'm almost finished, but I can just keep picking up everything. Like, everything's popping back in my head. And another thing is, some teachers will take attendance. You know, some teachers will not take attendance. And I remember some of my last sisters telling me that their professor would close the door at a certain time, and if you're not there at that time, you aren't like being in that class that day and you are absent. So yeah, definitely look at the syllabus or listen. Like, the professor will tell you like, I'm closing my door at this certain time because, you know, when people walk in late, it's a distraction. So a lot of professors are like a lot, well, not a lot, but some professors close their doors at a certain time. I never had that type of professor, thank the Lord. But, you know, some did take attendance. And some professors will tell you straight up. Like, I had this cool professor. He was like, yeah, I took attendance, but, you know, he doesn't put in the system or anything. It's like, whatever. So a lot of people didn't come to his class. It was an easy class, too. A lot of people didn't come to his class, though. Like, or they would walk out his class. But he didn't really care. He was just like, whatever. So, yeah. Those are some of freshman advice I will give you guys. Like, that I wish I gave like someone to give to me coming in freshman year, and like more about West Georgia. But like I said, if you stay on top of your stuff, you can have fun too. Like, I did that and I graduated, so it's not impossible. Like, just remember why you're there. And I saw this quote before I graduated. It said, it doesn't matter what happens between the start and the finish line as long as you cross both. And, you know, some people might take a break in their semester and come back, and that's totally fine. Like, but just as long as you cross both, that's all that matters. And yeah, if you guys have any more comments or any questions, please leave them down below, and I will get to them and try to answer the best I can. I graduated summer 2019. Some things are a little blur, and I was a freshman fall 2015. So yeah, some things are a little blur, but I'm pretty sure I can help you. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video.